for thoroughbred racing. From the very first Breeders' Cup Championship Day, the $3 Million Classic, the sport's richest race, has been tied here to Louisiana Downs Super Derby. 1984, Gate Dancer got up in the final strides to catch Precisionist in Super Derby 5. And then, in the inaugural Breeders' Cup, he would cross the wire second to Wild again. 1987, Kentucky Derby and Preakness winner Ali Sheba made the Super Derby his final 3-year-old victory before losing his classic duel with Ferdinand by a nose. The Breeders' Cup $3 million race in 1988 was a battle between Super Derby winners past and present. Ali Sheba outdueled that year's Super Derby winner, seeking the gold. 1989, Sunday Silence became the first Super Derby winner to win the Classic in the same year. In 1990, Unbridled would run second here at Louisiana Downs, then come back to win on Breeders' Cup Day. The Super Derby, racing's richest fall event for 3-year-olds, and a proven preview of Breeders' Cup Classic potential. ESPN presents Budweiser Racing to the Breeders' Cup. Brought to you by Budweiser. Nothing beats the excitement of horse racing, and nothing beats a Bud. By Walmack International, winning the world over. Thrifty Car Rental, because it's your money. And by the Daily Racing Form, the paper to read when you're playing to win. Stay tuned for Super Derby 13, next from Louisiana Downs.
And I'm the mayor.
Yo, fellas, how about a game of hoops? Hey, what? With you? No, with your mama. Mom?
This guy was good, but he was all dribble.
Say what? Come on, man.
Man, he deserved one of these.
Franchise, want to call Bud? Solid.
Win a trip for 2 to the Thrifty Car Rental Holiday Bowl, including 5 days at the San Diego Hilton Beach and Tennis Resort. You'll see a great game, visit the San Diego Zoo, and drive away in an exciting 1993 Chrysler Concorde. To enter, mail your name and address on a 3x5 card to this address, or get an entry form at any Thrifty Car Rental location, or select Monday editions of USA Today. Round-trip air transportation provided by Continental Airlines. All-Pro quarterback Dan Marino.
When the game is over and the pain starts, I want 2 things from my pain-relieving rub: fast relief and no odor. So I use Sports Cream, a strong pain-relieving rub that doesn't make me smell like a medicine chest. I just massage in Sports Cream for fast, odor-free relief. Cream or lotion, Sports Cream sure gets my vote for fast relief and no odor.
For the Burrell family's Oaktown stable, the dream began in 1990. Hip 231 was purchased for $90,000 at Keeneland. And Hip 231 became the graded stakes winner, Dance Floor. Every year, new dreams begin at Keeneland. For more information about thoroughbred ownership, write the Keeneland Association in Lexington, Kentucky.
Houston by Triple Crown winner Seattle Slew. Out of a champion race mare and broodmare. Houston sold for $2.9 million as a yearling and went on to win 3 graded stakes. Houston, another reason Walmack is winning the world over.
It's Super Derby time again in Louisiana as we've come back to the Downs in the parish of Bossier, just across the Red River from Shreveport, for ESPN's same-day coverage of Super Derby 13. And hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln. Budweiser's Racing to the Breeders' Cup Series makes a stop in Louisiana. Our focus on the 3-year-olds, and many hoping to follow in those hoofbeats of those that have gone on from the Super Derby to have such an impact on the Breeders' Cup Classic. We've got a great race program lined up for you. let's show you some of the events coming up right ahead for you. We'll go first to Northern California, to Bay Meadows for the Bay Meadows Budweiser Breeders' Cup Handicap, a sprint race worth $150,000. Then to Pimlico in Baltimore for the 7th Maryland Million, and there to feature the $200,000 Budweiser Maryland Classic. The biggest three-year-old event this weekend is here, but the co-feature had to be Friday night's Pegasus Handicap at the Meadowlands. We'll show you that as well. But in all of racing, there's no richer event than the Super Derby. Let's take a look at the conditions. It's grade 1, the purse $750,000. Now that is down from the $1 million figure of the last 5 years. 1.25 miles, 3-year-olds, all carrying 126 pounds. The weather on this final weekend in September here in Northwest Louisiana is absolutely perfect. A light breeze blowing, warm temperatures here, and the track condition listed as fast. And now for an overview of the 3-year-old racing picture across the country, as well as to focus on our 1992 Super Derby field. Let's join my colleagues, Dave Johnson and Charles C. Canty.
And the largest Super Derby field in history, 14 of them. But, Charles, that's no surprise.
Well, a large field is a logical result of the fact that there is no one dominant horse to fear. Consider that of the classic winners, Pine Bluff is retired, Little E.T. is through for the year, and A.P. Indy was off the board in his last start. So with this kind of money, they're going to come from everywhere to take a shot.
And they have come from everywhere, from the East Coast, the West Coast. The locals think they have a shot. And, Charles, they have come from the grassy set, too. Senor Tomas, Fax News, and Ghazi have all gotten very good lately, and they've all gotten good on the turf. And so with that kind of money at stake, why not drop them in the entry box?
Well, and the purse isn't the only factor. Distance plays a big role today, too. We're going 1.25 miles, and of this entire field, only 2 horses have won going that far. One is Ghazi, and the other is BNBN, one on the dirt and one on the turf.
Well, let's check the entire field and see who's contesting this Super Derby. We start with the entry. Coach Raby and Orbit's Revenge, Tony McNeil and Calvin Burrell, the jockeys, and 20-1 in the morning line. Pat Day picks up the mount on American Chance at 6. Count the time with Mark Guidry at 5-1. The 4 horses hold Old Blue with Kerwin Clark starting at 12. 20 the price on Senor Thomas with Aaron Grider, and that's the same morning line for Fax News and Corey Nakatani. He'll pass at 10 with Ronald Ardwan. The 8 horse is Ghazi. The morning line choice, a tepid one at that. Robbie Davis rides in 3-1. BNBN at 4.5 with Chris McCarron. Star Recruit with Ron Hansen starts at 20-1. And Lafitte Pinkai Jr. aboard Vying Victor at 6-1. And then a 2-horse mutual field, Desert Force with Garrett Gomez and Place Dancer with Randy Romero, 15-1. No fillies in the contest, all 3-year-olds. They all carry 126 in the Super Derby. That was not the case Friday night. The big 3-year-old race at the Meadowlands, the Pegasus, was a handicap.
And we had the same situation up there. Technology was the favorite, but he wasn't intimidating anybody, and they wound up with a full field of 12, and it turned out that these other horses were right to be so ambitious.
And as they turned for home, it was Nines Wild in front. Agincourt in the red cap was second, but watch Scuffleberg on the outside coming on.
He's a great big colt with a little bitty rider. That's Julie Crone. This colt can be a little indifferent about what he's doing, but she really got his attention that night.
Well, actually, we counted it. She smacked him 31 times from the quarter pole to home, but she got home by almost 2 lengths. The trainer was Scotty Schulhofer, who took the Pegasus for the 4th time.
So add William Hagen Perry Scuffleberg to the list of 3-year-olds to watch this fall, and certainly today we'll get at least several Breeders' Cup contenders out of this wide-open Super Derby.
And even though there's no Sunday Silence or Ali Sheba in the field, this is going to be one heck of a horse race, Chris.
Dave, I agree. Maybe we'll make a new star this afternoon here in Louisiana. The fans have turned out for the big race. Some 18,000 expected at Louisiana Downs to watch the Super Derby.
No matter where you shop for cars or trucks, you won't find anything like the McCain Auto Supermarket. 7 top dealerships in one giant location. And now, during McCain's factory-authorized year-end clearance, you'll find over 1,000 cars and trucks priced from below factory invoice. You can buy direct from the storage lots at discounts to $5,000 on Honda, Ford, Chrysler Plymouth, Oldsmobile, Cadillac, GMC, and Isuzu. We guarantee you Pittsburgh's lowest prices and an enormous selection at Pittsburgh's biggest dealer, McCain.
This week on Encore, Steve Guttenberg stars in the acclaimed portrait of 50s America, Diner. On Monday, look for Bob Hoskins in The Long Good Friday. Tuesday features Robert De Niro in the Oscar-winning drama Raging Bull. On Wednesday, Encore brings you Barbra Streisand and Hello, Dolly. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly with Clint Eastwood comes your way on Thursday, and Friday offers the rousing comedy Mr. Billion. Then on Saturday, guess who's coming to dinner? Sidney Poitier stars in the unforgettable drama. This week on Encore.
Remington Park invites you to Oklahoma this October 16th through 25th when the Festival of the Horse races into Oklahoma, featuring over $1 million in purses, including rich stake races, plus a spectacular 10-day celebration in the heart of horse country. For a complete stakes lineup, call the Horseman's Hotline today.
Let your heart race. Remington Park, let your heart race.
In just 2 years, California Cup has become one of the premier events on the California racing calendar. In 1991, more than 85,000 fans watched 89 Cal-bred runners compete in 9 races worth $1 million in purses. Co-sponsored by the California Thoroughbred Breeders and Oak Tree Racing Associations, California Cup truly is a special day. Make your plans now to be at Santa Anita on Saturday, November 7th to enjoy the excitement of California Cup 3.
Only the best qualify to play in the richest event on the Senior PGA Tour. And this year, the best includes new kid Raymond Floyd. See complete coverage of the Vantage Championship beginning Friday on ESPN.
I don't think about money. I don't. Swear to cross my heart, swear to God, that is not the issue. I just want to win. I want that ring. My dad's never had the opportunity to get that ring, and I want that ring.
Look at the winner's circle for Super Derby here at Louisiana Downs, of Racing to the Breeders' Cup. You take a look at the grandstand here. It is much more now than just a racetrack. In fact, now they're calling it Louisiana Racing and Entertainment Center. It's a look at racing's future. Take a look at a recent editorial cartoon in the Daily Racing Forum called Futuristic Downs by Remy Balak. It shows racing as a place also for casino and sports betting and simulcasting. Good or bad, many people feel it's where the sport is headed. Louisiana Downs, the future is now with the arrival July 1st of video poker machines and expanded day and night full card simulcasting of other races to keep this track open 17 hours a day, 7 days a week. Executive Vice President, General Manager Tom Sweeney.
We think it is the wave of the future. Racing and entertainment. The entertainment consists now of video poker. The video poker bill is written so that the horsemen share with Louisiana Downs in purse money. 50% of the net revenues go to purses.
There are now 734 video poker machines with a maximum $2 bet and $500 payoff have met 2 purse increases already, totaling 8%. By October 1st, the machines are expected to mean $700,000 more for purses. Louisiana State Representative Billy Montgomery.
The key to keeping an industry alive, such as horse racing, which it is an industry. It is one of the top 5 industries in this state, and several other states. It's a top industry. The purses determine how healthy that industry is, and video poker has increased those purses.
But is there a downside?
The only threat that there could be is if there's a preponderance of play on the video poker machines and less play on the mutuals. That really isn't happening to any degree. It's bringing people in. People are playing the mutuals.
Well, the impact on the local community has also been good. Some 250 jobs created by video poker, salaries of $40,000 a week. But how good is this for the future of racing? It's a long way from being decided. But now let's go to the top of the grandstand. The man who'll be calling the Super Derby for us, and to Dave Johnson.
Well, Chris, certainly one of the most interesting prospects in this wide-open Super Derby is the morning line favorite, Ghazi. His only previous stakes win was on the turf, and he's a $25,000 supplemental nominee to this race. Now, at Saratoga, Ghazi was involved in a most eventful race against a loose horse. Now, here's the rest of the story.
All the way up the backside, this horse and Ghazi moved into contention for the lead. Robbie Davis, the rider, then at the head of lane went on and opened up on the field with the loose horse always right at his flank. But as the further they came along through the stretch, The horse decided he wanted to get to the inside rail, and he decided he wanted to do so by getting in front of Ghazi.
Davis's cool reaction not only avoided potential disaster, he won by 2 in excellent time, even with all the trouble. Now, based on that effort, Ghazi figured to be one of the choices in the Secretariat Stakes at Arlington International, but was dismissed at 16-1.
We were really pleased. He's always given 100%. He got the lead fairly easily, and when the horses came through to him at the 8th pole, he showed some more. He went the last quarter very fast, and Robbie felt he still had horse left, which shows a lot of desire on his behalf.
But the best part of the Ghazi saga may be owner Hassan Shoaib. A Thoroughbred Owners and Breeders Association seminar rekindled his interest in thoroughbreds and led to his involvement with Del and Robin Carroll.
Apparently, he owned horses in his homeland, which is Pakistan, and had a desire and an interest. But I think Mr. Shoaib's the type to always do things the right way and go into it 100%. So first, he wanted to be well educated into every aspect of it before plunging.
Now, Ghazi has plunged into Grade 1 competition, but he still keeps early morning hours. That's very early morning hours with Robin Carroll. And she's developed a good feel for the personality of this improving sophomore.
He's like a teenager at this point in his life. He's looking to be pointed in the right direction, but every once in a while he'll try to get in trouble.
But hopefully not today.
While the fans here at Louisiana Downs awaiting the arrival of the Super Derby horses of the paddock, and here come the first of them for Super Derby 13. When we come back, the first of our bonus race coverage.
We always thought we knew a lot about Bud. Great taste, king of beers, that kind of stuff.
But these guys.
Budweiser, it's Beechwood aged.
Whoa.
Naturally carbonated.
Takes a long time to brew.
Where'd they learn this stuff? Some brewmaster information pipeline? Long forgotten, perhaps, deep in their collective subconscious?
No, I think it was on TV.
Here comes the king, here comes the big #1.
If you were a basketball announcer, you'd like to call the NBA final, or a football announcer the Super Bowl. And horse racing, it's being able to call the Breeders' Cup.
A 16th of a mile from the wire. Winning colors is there. Personal Ensign, a dramatic finish. And here is the wire. And it is Personal Ensign there with winning colors in a photo.
At Oldsmobile, we know the difference between designing a race car to be fast and designing a race car to be a winner. The new Achieva SCX has an engine that just doesn't know when to quit. Anti-lock brakes that help make cornering a breeze. And the difference between this winner and the winner you can buy is a wash. The Achieva SCX from Oldsmobile. The power of intelligent engineering.
Two-time leading sire Halo has sired over 50 stakes winners, including 7 champions, 6 millionaires, 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and 2 horses of the year. Halo at Stone Farm, where we're trying to raise you a good horse.
ESPN welcomes you back to Louisiana Downs, our coverage of Super Derby 13. Coming up on ESPN, we're all looking forward to the return of the National Hockey League. The season starts Tuesday, October 6th. We've got 2 great superstars ready to perform. Mario Lemieux, the 2-time defending champion Pittsburgh Penguins, formerly owned by the DeBartolo Corporation, and the Philadelphia Flyers, that rookie sensation Eric Lindros. The National Hockey League returns to ESPN. Our horses are coming into the paddock now for the Super Derby here, and Chelsea Candy is joining me for the start of our bonus race coverage. We're going to go to Bay Meadows for the Bay Meadows Budweiser Breeders' Cup Handicap. Chelsea, interesting 6-furlong sprint, $150,000. This, of course, part of the big $6.7 million Breeders' Cup special stake program throughout the year, and one that's had an impact, Chelsea, on the Breeders' Cup. Robin Dancer, the winner last year, 3rd in the Breeders' Cup sprint. Good field for 1992.
And all 7 of them are Breeders' Cup nominated, and a couple of them have that particular engagement in mind. But here's the field. Number 1 is a long shot, Barbaric Pleasure. Number 2 is the favorite. That's the 3-year-old Super Strike. The DeFrancis winner will be wearing blinkers as he preps for the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Then we have Bailorin, Harlem's Boy, and then the Southern California Invader, the consistent Angers, Nevis Star, and lastly is Waterscape, the veteran 6-year-old gelding making his first start since last November.
And now for the call of Saturday's Bay Meadows Budweiser Breeders' Cup. Here's Michael Rona.
Racing. Good dispatch. First into stride is Bailorin. He spears clear by a length. Second is Harlem's Boy. Super Strike third on the outside of Barbaric Pleasure. They break clear from Nevis Star, Waterscape, and 3 off last is Angers. 11 lengths from first to last as Bailorin cuts them by the half-mile mark. 3/4 of a length clear of Harlem's Boy. Barbaric Pleasure third on the inside of Super Strike. 2.5 to Waterscape, picking up ground around Nevis Star. And Angers is 7 lengths last. Past the halfway mark they go. Harlem's Boy is attacking Bailorin. Nothing between this pair as they come towards the home turn. Super Strike lurking just off the pace. Barbaric Pleasure near the rail. Here's Waterscape picking up valuable ground on the rail. He's coming into the picture with a great run as they flatten for the run-in, where Harlem's Boy, Bailorin are the leaders. Super Strike 3 out, and Valenzuela desperately in search of room on Waterscape. Meantime, Super Strike puts his head in front. Bailorin, Harlem's Boy battle on through near the inside. Waterscape, the leader, Super Strike. He's jumped out of the ground, but Super Strike wins a half length to He's Nevis Star is third.
What a finish. Super Strike wins the Bay Meadows Budweiser Breeders' Cup. In fact, 6 of the 7 in the field separated by less than 2 lengths. The 6-5 favorite, trained by Bruce Jackson, ridden by Danny Sorensen. As Chelsea mentioned, he earlier won the DeFrancis Dash, and he's taking dead aim on the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Remember the name, Super Strike. Now let's head to the paddock here at Louisiana Downs and start talking a little more about our Super Derby horses. Taking a look at the 9-horse BNBN. He's won Greatest Stakes races on both the dirt and the turf. Little late in developing, though, and we talked to his co-owner, John Toffin, about that.
Well, he was really late maturing, mentally and physically, and he just goofed around for his first 3 or 4 races, and then he really started to come around. And once he learned how to run, and he's still learning, I mean, he's got a big heart, and he just goes all the way. I think he's going to be a nice horse.
John co-owns the call with Trudy McCaffrey. His trainer, Paco Gonzalez, you see, getting the saddle on right now, though, really thinks BNBN Chelsea's future is probably more on the grass.
Well, he did win the swaps on the dirt. They took him to Saratoga for the Travers, and he stumbled badly, so that was just no contest. But he is proven at 1.25 miles on the dirt, and that's what counts here today, regardless of where his future is. He will get the trip of 1.25 miles. A little more of a question mark at this distance would be American Chance, number 2 there you see being tacked up right now, even though he did win the Jersey Derby at 1 1/8 miles. He's failed a couple of other times going that far, and the biggest drawback for him today is this is his first start since the 21st of June. Number 1 post position doesn't help much either. All the way on the other end of the starting gate will be Vying Victor, and let's don't overlook this fellow. He was a good third in the Molson Million 2 weeks ago. He was a fast closing second in the Jim Beam behind Little E.T. He's got the quality. He seems to be in good form after a little layoff this summer, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him very much in the thick of it in the stretch.
Fine young trainer Ian Jury saddling up Vying Victor there, and of course he's been part of our Budweiser Racing Cross America Series. We saw him win the Remington Park Derby. He got all fees paid for that, for this race, thanks to that. We'll be right back.
Come be a part of the tradition of excellence at Frank's Farms, Southland Division in Ocala, Florida. Frank's Farms makes available to the breeder with any budget the sire lines of Northern Dancer, Raise a Native, Nijinsky 2, Exclusive Native, Sovereign Dancer, and Mr. Prospector. The Southland Division's 1,000-acre farm features a complete facility for breeding, boarding, breaking, and training. Be a part of the tradition of one of America's leading thoroughbred owners, the multiple Eclipse Award-winning Frank's Farms.
Your kids love the pizza party, but your stomach doesn't love the pizza. When what you eat and drink gives you a surprise, you want a medicine that works on your stomach itself. Pepto-Bismol. As it coats, Pepto delivers powerful medicine directly to your stomach, right where you hurt. The real medicine for your stomach. Pepto-Bismol's the only one you need.
Sure. Unsure.
Sure. Unsure. Sure. Unsure. When dryness really counts, be sure to be dry. Sure Solid has the most effective wetness-fighting ingredient you can buy. For dryness no one can beat. So you're either sure or unsure. Sure. Unsure. Be sure to be dry.
You can't beat the excitement of America's fastest athlete this weekend at a track near you.
Heisman candidate Shane Matthews leads Florida against Mississippi State. Action kicks off Thursday night at 8:01 Eastern live. College football on ESPN in a class by itself.
Tonight on SportsCenter, the A's and Pirates try to succeed in the clinches. The Jays try to fight off the Brewers in the major's hottest race. And Week 4 in the NFL delivers all the hits. Keith Olbermann for Dan Patrick. Join us tonight on SportsCenter.
You're looking at Randy Romero, a product that the great Louisiana racing colony, top national rider now. Good to see him back in action. We'll be talking to him a bit later right now. Speaking of Louisiana locals, you know, this Super Derby has attracted in the past winners of 4 Kentucky Derbies, 3 Preaknesses, 3 Belmonts, and 4 Traverse Stakes winners. So it's not hard to understand why the locals have really been kind of overlooked and really not appreciated much. That is until last year. Spirits Joy takes the Super Derby in a gigantic upset. The Louisiana-bred Free Spirits Joy paid $59 to be the biggest price winner in the history of the Super Derby, with victory that had quite an impact on Clarence Picoult, Louisiana-based trainer for almost 30 years.
Well, winning the Super Derby last year, and that definitely had a super impact on my career, and to the extent that I've got quite a few more horses this year and better horses. And it's just been a great season so far.
This year, Picoult has an entry to try and defend his title. Local stakes winners Orbit's Revenge and Coach Rabbie.
We have 2 decent horses in there this year, Orbit's Revenge. Of course, we don't have the competition we had last year, nor do I have as good a horse as I had last year. So I think it's going to be a very interesting race.
It should also be interesting for another Louisiana-raced sophomore, Hill Pass. His trainer, Gilbert Chevalier, has needed a lot of help to correct a host of foot problems, from a quarter crack to rebuilding his right front foot with the help of Dr. Rick Redden.
The quarter crack hasn't posed any problem. Rebuilding the right front has been the big problem. And we just had to take it easy with him all summer. We kept him in training, and he responded to it with the first 7/8 win when we brought him back, and then back in the prelude. So far, his feet are about 95% sound at this point.
In the big prep for the Super Derby, the Prelude Stakes, Orbit's Revenge just beat Hill Pass to the wire, and Chevalier is ready to make an equipment change.
Going into the Super Derby, we're going to run him without blinkers. We're going to pull the blinkers off of him and hope that he can see another horse coming. However, in the Super Derby, he'll have plenty to run at. He won't have to worry about making the lead too soon, I don't think.
Well, now we'll take a look at the course the locals think they have an advantage over, and also get another opinion as we join Dave Johnson.
When the man says go in Super Derby 13, a gate full of 3-year-olds will have a straight-on view of more than a quarter of a mile, because at 1.25 miles here at Louisiana Downs, the Super Derby is run out of a chute. There certainly will be some jockeying for position as they pass the stands for the first time. It's a 1-mile oval, and we've checked that in the 12 previous runnings, 6 have been up on the front end and 6 have come from behind. And as they come through the stretch, they'll have 1,010 feet to make their late charge. With me is Jack Valentine, the trackman for the Daily Racing Form. Jack, what about the start? Do you see an advantage or a disadvantage for any of these 3-year-olds?
Well, I think the post positions may be the deciding factor in the whole race.
Really?
10 of the 14 horses have enough of speed to set the pace. And I think Hold Old Blue, American Chance, and Count the Times with their inside post positions are going to get crowded early. They're either going to have to use them early, or they're going to be so far back that I don't think they have much of a chance. Whereas Whereas Ghazi and Hill Pass, they drew just outside Desert Force, who I think is going to be the pace setter. They should have little trouble at all getting a good position and saving some ground.
Do you see any surprises here?
Well, if you think Hill Pass is a surprise, yeah.
Bad feet and all?
Bad feet and all.
That's your pick?
My pick is Hill Pass. He made an eye-catching move in a prelude, and he should be a lot fitter now.
Jack Valentine of the Racing Form thinks it'll be Hill Pass here at the finish line behind us after the Super Derby. Chris?
All right, Dave, and we're getting ready for the post parade for the 1992 Super Derby. The prize, $750,000.
Obviously, these guys knew a lot about Bud. But was it possible they learned it all on TV?
I think it was on TV.
That Bud, that's beer.
We watch TV. We've never seen this stuff.
Budweiser beer, the king is second to none.
Exclusive Beechwood aging gives you a taste and drinkability you find only in Budweiser.
I mean, how could we have missed it?
Oh, maybe you guys should get out more.
6 races, 6 race tracks, 1 paper. All you need for the National Pick 6 is the daily racing form. Only the form gives you the free National Pick 6 pullout section, featuring complete Pick 6 information, the most accurate past performances, the latest workouts, buyer speed figures, and official program numbers, all free with Saturday's paper. So before you try to pick 6, pick up the daily racing form.
When your sinuses are closing in on you, what you need is a sinus spray like Sinex. Only Sinex adds Vicks Vapors to its decongestant, so at last you can feel your sinuses open up. For sinus, think Sinex.
How a count eats a Reese's peanut butter cup.
I like to eat the peanut butter first.
There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's.
At Walmack, we understand the key to winning is knowing what's important now. Today's breeder is looking for quality and value. Just what Walmack has delivered for the last 15 years. In the breeding shed, in the sales ring, at the track. Walmack is winning the world over.
On a Sunday afternoon, ESPN is Louisiana Downs for Super Derby 13, and let's present the field of 14. We start with the 1-horse Coach Rabbie, Louisiana bred by a former Major League Baseball star Joe Adcock and named for a legendary LSU basketball coach, Harry Rabbenhorst. Won the Bossier City Handicap. Tony McNeil, the rider, one of the top riders up in Oklahoma at Remington Park. Part of the Clarence Piku entry also is 1A Orbit's Revenge. Won the Prelude Stakes here, placed in 7 of 8 races this year, unraced at 2 with a broken cannonbone. Calvin Burrell won last year's Super Derby, is back with a slightly injured foot from an incident yesterday at the starting gate. The 2-horse American Chance won the Jersey Derby and the Lafayette Stakes. The rider is Pat Day, 4-time Eclipse champion. He won the Super Derby in 1988 on Seeking the Gold. The 3-horse Count the Time. This an Illinois bred won the Fairmount Derby in Illinois by 5.5 lengths. He was last year's Illinois bred champion 2-year-old. Mark Gidby returns to his native state to ride today. The 4-horse Hold Old Blue, trained by Carl Nasker, who's won a Super Derby in the past. Hold Old Blue, 2nd in the Alabama Derby, won the Omaha Gold Cup, 9th in the Traverse, just started running in April. Kerwin Clark, one of the top riders at Arlington. He started his career, though, here in Louisiana at Jefferson Downs. The 5-horse Senor Tomas, $75,000 Keeneland sale purchase. Made his last 6 starts on the turf. All 3 of his stakes wins have been on the grass. Just won the choice at Monmouth Park. Aaron Grider, top young rider, has been among the leaders in California, Kentucky, and New Jersey. The 6-horse Fact News, most experienced in the field with 22 starts, 12 this year. Corey Nakatani, the rider. The 7 is Hill Pass. Ronald Ardwan has the assignment. This is the one that was 2nd in the Prelude. Remember, the one with all the foot problems. Also, Ghazi, the 8-horse, just won the Grade 1 Secretariat at Arlington on the turf. Robbie Davis, the assignment. BN. Greatest stakes winner, as we told you earlier, on both the dirt and the turf with Chris McCarron. And Star Recruit, the 10, Vying Victor. We saw him win at Remington Park, the 11, with Lafitte Pinkai, a 3-time winner of this race. And 2 field horses, Chelsea, Desert Force, and Place Dancer. That's the field for Super Derby 13. Chelsea, I think you've got some racing from Maryland.
Well, while the Super Derby field are warming up for their our big engagement, we're going to take a look at another big day of racing held yesterday up at Pimlico, where it was Maryland Million Day. Now in its 7th season, the Maryland Million has awarded over $6 million in prize money to Maryland-sired thoroughbreds. Originated in 1986 by ABC commentator Jim McKay, the Maryland Million was the first state-oriented day of racing patterned after the $10 million Breeders' Cup Championship Day. 2 of the 1992 Maryland Million events were a part of yesterday's National Pick 6, including the U.S. Air Maryland Sprint. Rallying between horses was Charlie You Know, scoring the biggest upset of Maryland Million Day at 18-1. Also part of the Pick 6 was the Maryland Million Oaks at 1 1/16. With the scratch of expected favorite Star Minister, the Oaks became a last-to-first exhibition for Deputation, here drawing away near the wire. Deputation is trained by Shug McGahee and was ridden by Maryland Million's all-time leading rider, Julie Crone. Finally, in the $200,000 Budweiser Maryland Classic, Timely Warning had the inside, the lead, and the chance to win his 3rd straight Classic for owner Andy Fowler and trainer Buddy Raines.
Down the stretch, Timely Warning, Frugal Doc, Reputed Testimony, all with a shot at it. Frugal Doc, hard ridden between horses outside Reputed Testimony, but Timely Warning wants to win this race one more time. Out of the final 16th of a mile, it's a 3-way thriller. Reputed Testimony, Frugal Doc, Timely Warning. What a race! Down to the 16th pole, Timely Warning outside Reputed Testimony.
Former Maryland sensation Kent DeSormo returns to pluck the day's biggest prize with Reputed Testimony in a dramatic finish. As for Maryland Million Day itself, the total Pimlico Laurel handle of over $2.7 million was a new record for the event. And our congratulations to Jim McKay on 2 fronts, one for a great day of racing and the other for his birthday celebrated this past week.
Happy birthday, Jim. Also, some thanks and well-deserved thanks to the video department here at Louisiana Downs. Did a lot of work for us in the last few days of bringing these races down from all over the country for your enjoyment here on our Budweiser Racing to the Breeders' Cup Series on ESPN. Back for the Super Derby in a moment.
No matter where you shop for cars or trucks, you won't find anything like the McCain Auto Supermarket. 7 top dealerships in one giant location. And now, during McCain's factory-authorized year-end clearance, you'll find over 1,000 cars and trucks priced from below factory invoice. You can buy direct from the storage lots at discounts to $5,000 on Honda, Ford, Chrysler Plymouth, Oldsmobile, Cadillac, GMC, and Isuzu. We guarantee you Pittsburgh's lowest prices and an enormous selection at Pittsburgh's biggest dealer, McCain.
This week on Encore, Steve Guttenberg stars in the acclaimed portrait of 50s America, Diner. On Monday, look for Bob Hoskins in The Long Good Friday. Tuesday features Robert De Niro in the Oscar-winning drama Raging Bull. On Wednesday, Encore brings you Barbra Streisand in Hello, Dolly. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly with Clint Eastwood comes your way on Thursday, and Friday offers the rousing comedy Mr. Billion. Then on Saturday, guess who's coming to dinner? Sidney Poitier stars in the unforgettable drama. This week on Encore.
$10 stake schedule is being offered during Hollywood Park's 32-day Autumn Festival. It includes the $1.7 million Turf Festival from November 22nd through the 29th, opening with the Grade 1 $400,000 Hollywood Derby and closing with the $400,000 Grade 1 Matriarch Stakes. On December 13th, they're off in the $500,000 Grade 1 Hollywood Turf Cup, with nominations closing November 25th. For more information, call Ewell Wyatt, Racing Secretary.
Another Breeders' Cup Championship moment. Hollywood Park was the stage for jockey Pat Day's brilliant performance in the world's richest race, the $3 million Breeders' Cup Classic. 30-1 long shot, Wild Again had the early lead, but in the stretch, Day would have to summon all his skills to hold the lead as the favorites gave challenge to the wire.
Wild Again, Gate Dancer, slow goal in between them, and here's the wire. Wild Again does it.
For Jockey of the Year, Pat Day, this was his Breeders' Cup Championship moment.
Minutes to post time for Super Derby 13 here at Louisiana Downs. Let's give you an update on the odds now. Expect to handle better than $2.5 million on track today. And you see the entry, Coach Raby, Orbit's Revenge at 9-1, American Chance, Count the Time, getting some support at 5 and 7 respectively. Some big prices on Hold All Blue, Senor Tomas, and Fax News. A big price at 60-1, the biggest price in fact. Hill Pass 7, Ghazi at 9-2, BN now at 7-2, and has become the favorite here over the morning line favorite Ghazi. Star Recruit, a big price, Vying Victor, 6-1. Then the field, you get both for the one bet. It's 17-1 Desert Force, along with the final horse, Place Dancer. Well, we told you the favorites right now, Bien and Ghazi. We're looking for a Budweiser long shot, though, today for the Super Derby.
Are these fans at a racetrack or a Kentucky Duke basketball game? It could be either. That's a favorite chant of Duke supporters when playing the Big Blue of Kentucky. But here at Louisiana Downs, we hope it's a victory cheer for our Budweiser long shot, number 4, Hold Old Blue. According to trainer Carl Nafsker, all he need to do is repeat his effort in the Omaha Gold Cup.
I would like to see him run that same race back because he laid nice and close. He was a 3 or 4 out of it. He made a nice move at the head of the lane, hooked up good, and went on and won the race. But Hold Old Blue sometimes has different plans. Sometimes he decides he wants to go a little faster.
Today, we think his mind will be right. And when the Super Derby is over, the cheers will be for our winning Budweiser long shot.
What a cheering section for Hold Old Blue, the 4-horse. And on the board right now here at Louisiana Downs, he is being featured at 12-1. You know, one of the great stories in our field is the Bay Gelding Place Dancer, the 13th. Now, he's part of the field, but what makes it so interesting, a lot of people will be cheering for this field horse because of the rider, Randy Romero. He is a native of Louisiana, been a top national rider, but this young man has really battled and had so many problems and injuries throughout his career. He's just come back from surgery to correct a broken arm recently. We talked to Randy about that surgery.
Well, they took a bone out my hip and placed it in my arm with bone graft, and they put a plate with some screws. I flew to California, got the surgery done, and Dr. Curlin and Joe were at that clinic there, and Dr. Chandler was the one that did the operation on me, and it was a very successful one.
The goals remain the same, Randy, I guess? Best horses in the big races?
You know, things have been a little slow, but now I just got to get on some fast horses. But things are turning around now, and I'm pretty soon be back on top again, like I used to be.
We all certainly hope so for this Louisiana native, one of their favorite sons, rider Randy Romero. Chelsea, some thoughts on the field as they head to the gate.
Well, Chris, if you like our Bud Longshot, you have to think about Count the Time. He finished only a length and a half back in third in the Omaha Gold Cup that Hold Old Blue won. He had a nice tightener since then, winning the Fairmont Derby 3 weeks ago. He's an improving colt, and remember, he has never been off the board. Another horse in the field who's really consistent that we shouldn't overlook is Senor Tomas. Now, I know he's been racing on the grass. His last 6 starts were on the turf. He won the choice handicap last time out. But he's also an improving colt, and he really wants to go 1.25 miles too. Obviously, that's why Peter Vestal has brought him here. Plenty of horses to choose from, Chris. What I can't decide is what they're going to do when they break out of the gate. We've got a bunch of horses who like to be close to the lead. Not a lot of real firm speed horses, though. Probably Desert Force, American Chance, Ghazi, Star Recruit. We'll see them setting the pace. They've got a long way to run down that stretch straight away.
I was going to say, starting in the chute, as you see the assistant starters taking over from the outriders to get him into the starting gate. Let's bring you up to date on the stakes and track record. It's one and the same. 2 minutes and 1/5 seconds for the 1.25 miles by Gate Dancer, Jack Van Bergstar in 1984. By the way, Randy Romero is riding Place Dancer, a son of Gate Dancer, in this race this afternoon. 14 to go. The purse, $750,000. The first place check awaiting $450,000 in Super Derby 13. And they all seem very well behaved as we go up top to Dave Johnson.
And Fax News just moves into line here. Post positions drawn by lot. And that's the reason why they're a little bit different than the program numbers, because we have the entry and the field. And here comes Hill Pass, who is the son of Temperance Hill, who won this race. And there is Ghazi, who was the morning line favorite, but is 5-1. This horse might be better on the dirt than the turf. Bien stumbled at the start of the Travers and lost all chance there in the yellow cap. Chris McCarron hoping that his trip to Louisiana will be a little bit more fruitful than the one to Saratoga. There is Place Dancer, a son of Gate Dancer, who took this. Here's Star Recruit with Ron Hansen. 14. Full gate. Vying Victor ready to move into line. Third in the Molson Million earlier. And second in the Jim Beam. And they're off. And from the extreme outside, that's Fax News. Now, Fax News charges up to get the early lead. Star Recruit on the outside is in second position. And at the rail, there goes American Chance. Pat Day grabs the lead. American Chance in front. Coach Raby into the second spot. Fax News is racing third. Desert Force is between horses. And on the outside, Star Recruit moves up now and is wide at the first turn. Senor Tomas is next. Ghazi is seventh at this point, about 4.5 off the leader. The Bud Longshot saving ground along the inside rail. That's Hold Old Blue. Then comes Vying Victor. Orbit's Revenge along the inside. Hill Place in the black cap is moving sharply on the extreme outside. Then we come back to the final three horses. Hold the Time, BNBN, and Place Dancer. 15 lengths from front to back. And the battle on the front end. American Chance along the inside. Star Recruit on the outside. And Fax News right there between horses. Three of them across the track as they race down the backstretch. Senor Tomas just off the leaders, racing in fourth position. Along the inside, Coach Raby is fifth at this point. And Ghazi is sixth on the outside in the yellow cap. Orbit's Revenge gains ground, and between horses, Hold Old Blue looks for some racing room. He'll pass, is next, and Hold the Time as they round the far turn. Fax News with Corey Nakatani takes the lead. On the outside, Star Recruit battles back, but American Chance at the rail has a little bit more. And Senor Tomas with the green cap angles to the outside. Ghazi is fifth just behind horses, and Orbit's Revenge is next. Cutting the corner, American Chance at the rail leads it by a head. Senor Tomas on the outside now takes command. And down the stretch they come. Senor Tomas leads it. Here comes Count the Time on the outside. Out to challenge and Count the Time with Mark Guidry on the outside. Battles with Senor Thomas at the rail. Those two to the wire. Senor Thomas wins it by a head. Then it was Count the Time on the outside second, and photographs all around for the show spot. A dramatic Super Derby as Aaron Grider comes in and gets the job done with Senor Tomas.
Senor Tomas, another stunning upset for the second year in a row at Super Derby time. He was 25-1 when he went off. The unofficial winner at 2 minutes and 4 seconds for the 1.25 miles as he fought off the Illinois bred Chelsea to the wire. Count the Time. Let's take another look. Senor Thomas in the green cap has the inside. The challenge comes from Count the Time on the outside.
He was never far back early on. He just kind of laid in just behind the early pace setters. The first quarter went in 22-3. They were snapping along, and then they settled back. And as they came for home, Senor Thomas looked like an easy winner. But here comes Count the Time making a big late run. But Senor Thomas is able to hold on. This is his first start in 6 races on the dirt. He is a much improving horse. Added blinkers 2 starts ago. Seemed to have helped him. 2:04, not one of the quicker Super Derbies.
Senor Tomas, owned by Tom Carey, trained by Peter Vestal, and ridden here this afternoon in the Super Derby by Aaron Grider, hitting the wire just in front of Count the Time.
Okay, so these guys may know a little more than we do about Bud. It's the rice.
It's the hops.
It's the rice. But of course, we know a lot about other things. Hi, can I buy you something to drink? Yeah, like maybe a light beer?
Budweiser.
Or maybe you'd like a Bud.
Someday, boy, you're gonna learn from your mistakes.
Win a trip for 2 to the Thrifty Car Rental Holiday Bowl, including 5 days at the San Diego Hilton Beach and Tennis Resort. You'll see a great game, visit the San Diego Zoo, and drive away in an exciting 1993 Chrysler Concorde. To enter, mail your name and address on a 3x5 card to this address, or get an entry form at any Thrifty Car Rental location, or select Monday editions of USA Today. Round-trip air transportation provided by Continental Airlines.
I'm a big man.
Why do so many men stick with Bic?
I'm a big man.
Because there's a Bic for every beard. Regular, sensitive, metal.
Yeah, I'm a big man.
I'm a big man.
When what you eat and drink gives your stomach a surprise, you want a medicine that works directly on your stomach. Pepto-Bismol. As it coats, Pepto delivers powerful medicine right where you hurt. Pepto-Bismol.
You're looking at the unofficial winner of Super Derby 13, Senor Tomas, in line for a $450,000 paycheck here this afternoon. Bred in Kentucky by Ed Seltzer, this gelded son of El Gran Senor out of the mare Just Anything was a $75,000 Keeneland sale purchase. There's Aaron Grider, the rider. Peter Vestal trains for Tom Carey. And here are the unofficial results. The running time 2:04. Senor Tomas, the Illinois bred, count the time with that big charge at the end. And the local horse, Clarence Picou's Orbit's Revenge, unofficially getting the show spot. And now to take us back through Super Derby 13, again, Dave Johnson.
Well, this was fast early and slow late. And let's watch Senor Tomas in the green colors just off the leaders. Now, the fastest early fraction ever in the Super Derby was today, 22-3. And here on the inside is American Chance. Fax News in the yellow and brown between horses. Star Recruit on the outside is third. But Aaron Grider brings this long striding animal 4 wide. And as Star Recruit takes off, so does Grider. And Senor Tomas, a son of El Gran Senor, will draw clear here and then has to put up the late run to keep off Count the Time, who is closing with Mark Guidry with every stride. At the wire, though, Senor Tomas. On the inside, wins it by a head with Count the Time second, and in a photograph, Orbit's Revenge, part of the entry with Coach Raby, finished third. Charlesy?
We have Pat Day here, who was aboard American Chance. He was not on the board, but it was a tremendous race for this colt who hadn't been out in a very long time. You nursed him quite a long ways, Pat.
Well, yeah, he hadn't been out in about 3 months, and I think Niall just done a tremendous job of getting him ready for the race. In retrospect, I'd have rather had a little bit a post position a little further out. You know, the one hole, he broke nice and clean, got pressured a little bit. They started to squeeze him about an eighth of a mile out of there, and when they did, well, he just took a hold and took off. And then he made the pace all the way to just past a half-mile pole. Horse that Corey Nakatani was on, he kind of put him in a drive and went past me. I thought it was too early at that point to ask my horse, but I was in a position where if I don't, I'm going to get shuffled back and be locked in there. And so I asked him. He got back in front, coming to the head of the stretch, and tried hard. You know, he dug in when he turned for home, changed leads. I called on him, and he really fired hard, but he just got a little tired the last part.
We'll look for a big race from him next time, and you rode Senor Tomas once upon a time.
A couple of times back on the grass for Mr. Vestal, and this horse, he hadn't been on the dirt for quite a while, but I'll tell you what, he ran a marvelous race there this afternoon. My congratulations to Mr. Grider and Mr. Vestal and the owners. It's
very good. Thanks, Pat, and we'll go up to Chris.
And Senor Tomas leaving the winner's circle here. As you see, Aaron Grider with the flowers, the young rider who's been looking for a big one. He got one here this afternoon. We'll be back to make it official right after this.
If you want a beer that drinks easy like a light and has real draft taste, why not make a change for the better? Refreshingly different, but dry. Bud Dry is one beer that drinks easy like a light and has real draft taste. So why not come around to something refreshingly different? Try Bud Dry.
Major League Baseball Home Video presents baseball's funniest bloopers. Hey fans, you'll be bowled over by this highly revealing romp. Then we'll sprinkle in some bite-sized fun, just enough to tickle your funny bone. Now, if you want to sink your teeth into baseball's funniest bloopers, just call this number and order. Baseball's funniest bloopers is 35 minutes of laughter and a whole lot of Major League mess-ups. So pick one up today. If you're a rookie squirt, ask for help. Ouch! If you're a Major League squirt, grab a pen and paper, any paper.
To order for just $19.95 plus $4 shipping, send check or money order to this address. Or use your credit card and call 1-800-336-2100. That's 1-800-336-2100.
Oldsmobile redefines quality. Here's proof. Call 1-800-THE-TEST to get independent test results from a 100,000-mile real-world test of the new Oldsmobile Achieva against Honda Accord and Toyota Camry. Learn how Achieva outperformed Accord and Camry in total cost, which includes maintenance, repair, and operating costs. You'll even get a free video documenting the test. Achieva, quality redefined, from the company that went far enough to prove it. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
Welcome back to Louisiana Downs, where Super Derby number 13 is official, and 13 was certainly lucky for the connections of Senior Thomas. Last year, Free Spirits Joy paid $59 even. Another big long shot this year as Senior Thomas pays $57.80, $25.60, and $11.20. Count the time second, $12.680. Orbit's Revenge, coupled with Coach Raby. The entry paid $5.20, and a 5-3 exacta here at the track pays $807.30 for the $3 wager. From top to bottom, it was Senior Thomas home in front. Count the time. Orbit's Revenge. Hold on Blue. The Bud Long Shot finished fourth in a good effort. Ghazi finished fifth. Then it was American Chance, who faded from the early action. Star Recruit, Coach Raby, Desert Force, Fax News, who had been up there early, finished 10th. Place Dancer 11th. Hill Pass, Vying Victor, and Bien Bien was 14th and last.
Chris McCarron on Bien Bien as he walked by said he just hated the dirt, so that may pretty much solidify Bien Bien's future on the turf, as Paco Gonzalez had expected. Rather surprising, though. Presentation winner circle taped earlier for you here, and I want to recognize John Alario, Speaker of the Louisiana House, and State Representative Billy Montgomery, a great friend of racing, as they make the presentation too. The owner Tom Carey and the rider Aaron Grider. Charlie Canny, let's go now to Charlie with the rider.
Well, with me is Aaron Grider, and Aaron, and also trainer Peter Vestal, both of whom had a rather large part in winning this race. But Aaron, where do you think the key to the victory for Senior Tomas was?
I think the key was probably at the half-mile pole. He has enough tactical speed to get himself in position, and at the half-mile pole he was pretty well on the bit, and I could see I would have something to finish with, and he never got in any kind of trouble. He was great, and at the quarter pole he had everything left.
Well, the fractions were a little funny. They went quick and then they steadied.
Yeah, they started off pretty quick, and there was a little bit of a jam up with a couple horses inside early, and I was lucky to miss that. And they kind of backed up in their face, but then they picked it up again a little bit down the backside and turned out well. And you were fourth there in the green silks and about to make a move on the leaders as you turned for home. And Pete Vestal, you must have been mighty happy to see him laying this close.
Oh, very much so. This horse really likes to stalk the leaders, and he runs his better races when he can do that. And it just set up perfect for us. And Aaron, right now, he's got him on the outside, and he's moving to the leaders, and he's still running easily. It really doesn't look like he's asked him to run yet.
Nice long striding horse, and he moves easily to these leaders. He'd been rather wrongly labeled as a turf horse. He had been running well on the turf, but he has ability on the dirt, obviously.
Yes, he's I had no compunctions about running him on the dirt. He's proven it in the mornings. He got good this spring, and we ran him on the grass, and that's why he got a reputation, because he won 3 stakes on the grass.
Nervous here?
Yeah, oh yeah, because he waits a little bit on horses, and we need to cut those bunkers back a little bit so he can see them coming.
Breeders' Cup now?
We might get by the Hawthorne Gold Cup. I don't know where we're going from there, though.
Still a possibility, but a great performance today by Senior Tomas and Aaron Grider and Peter Vestal. Well, we'll go back to Chris.
I know Peter Vestal has to be very pleased with this. The young trainer based in Louisville, Kentucky, and he learned from some of the best. He studied his craft under Mac Miller, John Russell, and the Hall of Famer Charlie Whittingham. So I'm sure they're awfully proud of Peter Vestal as well. Looking ahead for us, the Budweiser Racing to the Breeders' Cup Series continues. We've got some great racing action for you next Saturday. We'll be in New York for the Turf Classic in Vosburg. Following the next weekend on Sunday, the fillies in action with the Spinster Stakes at historic Keeneland Race Course. Then a Friday night race at the Meadowlands Cup, and the Laurel International will actually tape the program Saturday in Baltimore, and then it'll be seen Sunday, October 18th. That's our rundown for Racing to the Breeders' Cup. Some spectacular racing for you. Hope it matches the excitement of this one. Senor Tomas just holding off. The Illinois bred Count the Time. And once again, the Super Derby has a huge price winner as he pays $57.80 here to win this big one here this afternoon. And there you see the winning rider, Aaron Grider. He's been looking for a big victory. He finally got one today here for trainer Thomas Carey, trainer Peter Vestal, and the connection, Senor Tomas. Reminder, next Saturday here on ESPN, we'll have a big Breeders' Cup doubleheader for you. A lot of impact with the Breeders' Cup Championship Day with the Turf Classic and the Bosberg. And on ESPN this week, college football, CFA action, Florida and Mississippi State. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage of the 1992 Super Derby from Louisiana Downs, brought to you by Budweiser. Nothing beats the excitement of horse racing. Nothing beats a Bud. By the DeBartolo Corporation, leading the way to the 21st century. Thrifty Car Rental, because it's your money. And by the Thoroughbred Racing Association, assuring the highest racing standards. Ground transportation provided by Thrifty Car Rental. For reservations at over 700 locations worldwide, call Thrifty at 1-800-4CARS. Charts and statistics courtesy of the Daily Racing Form, America's Turf Authority. And this has been an ESPN Sports presentation in association with Winner Communications, as Senor Tomas becomes the second straight big price winner of the Super Derby here in Louisiana. $57.80 winner for Tom Carey.